All right, hello. Thank you all for joining me here this week for this week's message. I've got a new revelation from the Lord. Today, I'm going to be talking about the meaning of numbers in dreams, right? The meaning of numbers in dreams. Let's say you went to bed and somehow you're seeing some numbers in your dreams, right? Maybe you look at your watch and the time on your watch was 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. A.m. or P.M. And you're wondering what do these numbers mean? Or maybe in your dream I don't know, you had a piece of paper in front of you and you saw some numbers on there, right? Um, and you're wondering, well, what is the meaning of the numbers that I saw in my dream? Again, God speaks in symbols, and so those numbers in your dream have a meaning, right? God is giving you a coded message that you need to decode. So I'm going to be sharing some biblical insight here around how to interpret numbers that you see in your dream. So the title of today's message is The Meaning of Numbers in Dreams, okay? We're going to go from 1 to 10, right? Number 1 through number 10. So you see the number 1 in your dream. The number 1 typically portends unity, okay? The number 1 is typically talking about unity, okay? And biblically, that comes from the fact of, talking about the unity of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as one God, okay? So the three gods are unified into one. So if you see the number 1 in your dream, it is likely talking about unity, right? It's likely talking about unity, okay, in your life. And you're going to have to take a look at what else is going on in the dream before you saw the number 1 or after you saw the number 1 to understand, unity as it refers to or as it relates to what in your life. But typically, the number 1 biblically is talking about unity. It portends unity, okay? If you see the number 2 in your dream, 2 portends or implies witness or confirmation. 2 in your dream biblically implies witness or confirmation. And as a biblical reference, the Old and New Testaments both bear witness of God's testimony to man, okay? Both the Old and New Testament bear witness of God's testimony to man, okay? So if you saw the number 2 in your dream, it's talking about witness or confirmation, okay? So God may be confirming something in your life. Again, you're going to have to take a look at everything else that's going on in the dream, right, to understand what is God witnessing or confirming, right? But 2 portends or implies witness, okay? The number 3 is talking about completion, okay? The number 3 is the number of completion. And the biblical reference for that is, one biblical reference is the fact that Jesus prayed 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane before his arrest. Jesus prayed 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane before his arrest, right? And that third prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane marked the completion of, his ministry before his arrest, right? Also, Jesus was placed on the cross at the 3rd hour. Jesus was placed on the cross at the 3rd hour, marking the completion of his ministry in the earth, okay? So 3 typically talks about or is implying completion, okay? The number 4 portends, creation, right? The creation of the material universe, okay? Which portends the 4 corners of the earth or travel. So typically when you see the number 4 in the dream, it's talking about a global thing, right? It may be talking about global travel or something like global ministry, okay? Because 4 is talking about the 4 corners of the earth, you know, Take note of that. Okay. The number five. Five is the number of grace. Okay. There are five primary types of offerings that God commanded Israel to bring to Him. Right. All of which symbolized grace. Okay. There are five primary types of offerings that God commanded Israel to bring to Him, symbolizing, the grace of God. You have the offering, the burnt offering, the sin offering, the trespass offering, the grain offering, and the peace offering. Those are the five primary types of offering that God commanded Israel to bring to Him. Each one of those offerings symbolizing, grace, right? Because every time they gave an offering to God, that would usher in the grace of God on God's people, on Israel. So 5 is the number of grace. Okay, 6 is the number of man. 6 is the number of man. God made man on the 6th day. Okay, God made man on the 6th day. And men are appointed 6 days to labor. Men are appointed 6 days to labor. Okay, so 6 is the number of man. Okay, so if you see the number 6 in your dream, it's likely talking about something about you. Okay, and by man, I'm not talking about male and female. Man, I'm talking about man in Bible context. When you see the word man in the Bible, it's typically talking about mankind, right? So if you see the number 6 in your dream, it's talking about you, right? In terms of being man, part of God's creation. The number 7 portends perfection. 7 is the number of perfection. For example, there are 7 days in a week, okay, marking a perfect week, right? 7 days in a week. So 7 is the number of perfection, okay? 8. The number 8 portends new beginnings. New beginnings. Anytime you see the number 8 in your dream, it's talking about new beginnings, okay? One biblical reference is around the number 8. The number 8 is boys were to be circumcised on the 8th day, okay? Boys in the Old Testament were to be circumcised on the 8th day, okay? Symbolizing circumcision of the heart through Christ and also symbolizing a new beginning. So 8, the number 8, is the number of new beginnings. So if you see the number 8 in your dream, God may be saying there is a new beginning, a season of new beginning coming around the corner in your life, okay? Or if you saw the 8th month, right? 8 is the number of new beginning. So that is what the dream is talking about if you've seen the number 8 in your dream. The number 9 portends birthing, okay? 9 is the number of giving birth. Women give birth in the 9th month, okay? Women give birth in the 9th month, and this is biblical, okay? So if you see the number 9 in your dream, it's likely talking about a birthing season, a season of giving birth. You could be giving birth to, I don't know, a new career. It could be a new ministry. It could be a new occupation. It could be a new family. It could even be a new child. So again, you just have to take a look at everything else that's going on in the dream to be able to, understand what God is talking about, the context of the birthing season that's coming in your life. Okay. Let's go on to the number 10, okay? The number 10 portends completeness of order. 10 in your dream biblically portends completeness, okay? 10 is talking about completeness of order. It's also talking about responsibility and law, okay? For example, God gave man the 10 commandments, okay? The 10 commandments represents the law of God, right? The law of God, the laws of God, okay? And the 10 commandments also symbolize the responsibility of man, right, to God's commandments, okay? And also the 10 commandments really are symbolizing how order would come in man's life, right? Because by man following the Ten Commandments, that would secure order in man's life. So the number 10 typically portends, from a biblical standpoint, completeness of order, responsibility, and law. Okay, so again, if you see the number 10 in your dream, you have to take a look at everything else that's going on in the dream to understand what context of order, responsibility, and law God is talking about in your dream. So those are some foundational clues, right, to help point you and I to the interpretation of numbers when we see them in our dreams. Okay, so that is all that I have for this week. Again, it was great having you join me. I trust that you're learning as God is sharing His word and his understanding here on this channel. Again, this is Minister Smith with Jesus Christ Ministries. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on your device. Also hit the bell icon that's next to the subscribe button on your device, so that every time I upload a new content, a new teaching, you would be automatically notified, and you would be able to, join in together with us, so that we can continue to learn and grow together. God bless you. I wish you all of God's grace and mercies. Then I'll see you on next week's teaching. Again, thank you, and see you soon. God bless.